Hi guys, my name is Vlad. Welcome back to EGN Podcast. As discussed in the previous episodes, we have seen together a deep dive, I would say, into a book, Power versus Force. But today we are going to go through a book that it's filled with wisdom. Actually, it's a book that I love, and it's a lot of things to study about in it. And it's a book in a book, right? I'm talking about the Book of Proverbs. For those who don't know, it's a book where you can find a lot of wisdom. It's in the Bible, and it says that it's mostly written by King Solomon, who is known to be the wisest man in the world, the richest man in the world. Depends how you view it. But this series will be me going through it, reading the Book of Proverbs, giving some commentary, and just getting in all the information that's in it. There are 31 chapters. It might be a good idea even to do, if you want to do yourself a study, to read it, to listen or to read one chapter a day. It's for a month. It's doable. So I want to do also this for myself to re-jump into it. I listen to it, but every time you listen, you read, you can learn a lot of new things. So let's get right into it. So this is the Book of Proverbs. So Proverbs 1. Let's go step by step. So the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight, for receiving instruction in prudent behavior, doing what is right and just and fair, for giving prudence to those who are simple, knowledge and discretion to the young. Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance, for understanding proverbs and parables, the saying and riddles of the wise. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Right? So we can already see that here from the jump. He says, whether it's Solomon, he says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Meaning when you put your ego and pride to the side, it's already a beginning of knowledge, because you understand that you are not it and you are not the one who created you. But it says, but the fools despise wisdom and instruction. So the name of the chapter, warning against the invitation of sinful men. And this is like a father who is lecturing his son. You will understand what I mean. So it says, listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. My son, if sinful men entice you, do not give in to them. If they say, come along with us, let's lie in wait for innocent blood. Let's ambush some harmless soul. Let's swallow them alive like the grave, and wall like those who go down to the pit. We will get all sorts of valuable things, and fill our houses with plunder. Cast lots with us. We will all share the loot. My son, do not go along with them. Do not set foot on their paths. For their feet rush into evil. They are swift to shed blood. How useless to spread a net where every bird can see it. These men lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush only themselves. Such are the paths of all who go after ill-gotten gain. It takes away the life of those who get it. This is very deep. So it says, be careful of whoever invites you to do wrong things. And the last sentence, it's very deep. It says, such are the paths of all who go after ill-gotten gain. So whatever you win, by shortcuts, by lying to people, it takes away the life of those who get it. So if they get it, their life is taken away. Maybe not directly in that sense, but in some cases you get a payback, whether here or in the afterlife. So then it's the wisdom's rebuke. Out in the open, wisdom calls aloud. She, and actually the wisdom, since in the Hebrew word it's a female word, that's why it's a she. Out in the open, wisdom calls aloud. She raises her voice in the public square. On top of the wall, she cries out. At the city gate, she makes her speech. So this is wisdom speaking. How long will you who are simple love your simple ways? How long will mockers delight in mockery, and fools hate knowledge? Repent at my rebuke. Then I will pour out my thoughts to you. I will make known to you my teachings. But since you refuse to listen when I call, and no one pays attention when I stretch out my hand, since you disregard all my advice and do not accept my rebuke, I in turn will laugh when disaster strikes you. I will mock when calamity overtakes you. When calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disaster sweeps over you like a whirlwind, when distress and trouble overwhelm you. Then they will call to me, but I will not answer. They will look for me, but will not find me. Since they hated the knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord, since they would not accept my advice and spurned my rebuke, they will eat the fruit of their ways and be filled with the fruit of their schemes. For the waywardness of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will live in safety and be at ease, without fear of harm. Meaning, whoever follows the wisdom of God, the teachings that we can find in this book, and not only in this book, but the whole Bible, it has a lot of wisdom. It can, and it will actually allow you to avoid what we just mentioned, all the destruction, complacency, laziness, without any fear or harm. So this was chapter 1. Let's go to chapter 2. Of course, we won't be able to do all of it today, but we'll go through a few today. So, moral benefits of wisdom. My son, if you accept my words, and store up my commands within you, turning your ear to wisdom and applying your heart to understanding, indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, if you look for it as for silver and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. So he holds success in store for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in blameless. For the guards, he cares of the just and protects the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. Wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men, from men whose words are perverse, who have left the straight paths to walk in dark ways, who delight in doing wrong and rejoice in the perverseness of evil, whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their ways. So the wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men, from men whose words are perverse, who left the straight path. And wisdom will save you also from the adulterous woman, right? From the wayward woman with her seductive words, who has left the partner of her youth and ignored the covenant she made before God. Surely her house leads down to death, and her paths to the spirits of the dead. None who go to her return or attain the paths of life. Thus you will walk in the ways of the good and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright will live in the land, and the blameless will remain in it. So if we come back to it, it says wisdom will save you from adulterous woman. or man, but in this case it's the woman. From the wayward woman with her seductive words, she has left the partner of her youth and ignored the covenant she made before God. Surely her house leads down to death, and her path to the spirits of the dead. This part is very important. So, for the upright will live in the land, and blameless will remain in it. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the unfaithful will be turned from it. And this is he's speaking about the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the unfaithful will be turned from it. From what I understand, this is speaking about the land of God. Because if you are doing things that are against what's the good thing, right? So you're going against him. So Proverbs 3. Wisdom bestows well-being. Again, this is the father speaking to his son. Let's come back to it. So, my son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord. This is a deep, deep quote. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. So again, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. Because there are things that we cannot understand ourselves, right? Even if you try to learn everything, even if you try to understand everything, there are things that our mind, which is finite, which is not infinite, cannot understand. So sometimes our reason hits our understanding, and we cannot go beyond our understanding, which for sure can be expanded based on your experiences, based on what you read and understand, and what people teach you by what they learned. But still, we are limited in our understanding of some things. So let's continue here. So do not be wise in your own eyes. Okay, do not be wise in your own eyes. This is mentioned in the Book of Proverbs, okay, in the Bible. Again, do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. So, to not be wise in your own eyes, it's meaning be humble. Do not let your knowledge, your wealth, your whatever brings you up, makes your confidence to bring, pride and proudness in your eyes. Meaning and you are the creator and not the other way around. And honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. And this is true. So honor the Lord with your wealth and the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to. It's meaning you gotta give. Everybody says, the more you give, the more you save. This is the universe. This is how it works, blah, blah, blah. And this is what it mentioned in this book, which is more than, I think this is maybe even more 3,000 years ago. It says that, right? When you give, you will receive more. When you give it for the good things, for the good, right, reasons, you will receive more in return. This is part of the wisdom of the Lord. So, my son, do not despise the Lord's discipline and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves. As a father, the son he delights in. So, my son, do not despise the Lord's discipline and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves. Right? So, those people who are stubborn, who don't want to follow, the wisdom of God, who don't want to do the right things, who are getting trapped by the shiny things. Well, it says here, Do not despise the Lord's discipline. Do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves. Those he loves. This is a key part. Those he loves, he will discipline them. You will get a punishment for the wrongdoings. Some people might think that it's not going to happen and you don't see it even when they may be with other people, but it will happen. It says, as a father, the son he delights in. Like the father will discipline his son because he loves him, or daughter because he loves her. It's not because he hates her or him. So blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. Wisdom is more profitable than any wealth that you can have, and it gives you better returns. Okay, this is like 3,000 years ago. We're not talking about returns on your investment. Right here is talking about yields better returns than gold. So the wisdom will give you more fruits, more results, more good things in life than any investment that you can have in whatever you can put in your money. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her. Those who hold her fast will be blessed. By wisdom the Lord laid the earth's foundations. By understanding he set the heavens in place. By his knowledge the watery depths were divided, and the clouds let drop the dew. My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Again, my son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Preserve sound judgment and discretion. They will be life for you, an ornament to grace your neck. Then you will go on your way in safety, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Have no fear of sudden disaster, or of the ruin that overtakes the wicked, for the Lord will be at your side and will keep your foot from being snared. So again, doing the right things, having wisdom and understanding not out of your sight, keeping always in you. And this sometimes can be difficult because we all have our lives going on every day. We have distractions, we have our goals. And sometimes when you don't put time into the right things to feed your mind and your soul, you get astray from the way. That's why it's mentioning here. My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. And then it says the benefits, right? Safety, you are not afraid, your foot will not stumble, you will sleep like a baby, sleep will be sweet, no sudden disaster, you won't be attacked or anything like that by the wicked. So it has the advantages. So it says the advantages. And do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it's in your power to act. This is deep. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in your power to act. Meaning, if you can do something good to somebody to whom it is due, okay? If it's due, it's because they do deserve it, okay? And they do need it. So when it's in your power, do not withhold it. And it says then, do not say to your neighbor, come back tomorrow, and I'll give it to you, when you already have with you. If I can help a person today, if they ask me something, I will not delay it. If I can do it right now, do it. Do not delay, do not say tomorrow. First of all, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. If you can do it, act on it. If you can help somebody with some change, or like somebody you see outside, do it. You're helping out people. You are helping out other people like you who were created. So do not plot harm against your neighbor. So do not plot harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully near you. And this is speaking about neighbor, but it can be a friend, of course, a colleague, and you know. Do not accuse anyone for no reason when they have done you no harm. If nobody done you any harm, don't start any accusations. Do not envy the violent or choose any of their ways. Again, do not envy the violent. Now, the violent here in this case, for sure, is talking about, violence and violent people, but it can be also people that act like, they're bigger than themselves and showing a certain lifestyle. And we see this more in hip hop and all that than, special way of living a different type of life. But do not envy the violent or choose any of their ways, even though they are making it sound interesting, fun, with all the music industry and everything that way. Don't get trapped. Do not get deceived. For the Lord detests the perverse, but takes the upright into his confidence. For the Lord detests the perverse. He hates the perverse. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. He mocks proud mockers, but shows favor to the humble and oppressed. The wise inherit honor, but fools get only shame. So again, the wise inherit honor, but the fools get only shame. So even we are just in Proverb 3 and it's already, full of knowledge, full. And this is something that can be studied, reviewed, re-listened. It must be studied and reviewed and listened, like many other books in the Bible. So Proverbs 4, get wisdom at any cost. Again, this is the father speaking. Listen, my son, to a father's instruction. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning. So do not forsake my teaching. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished by my mother. Then he taught me, and he said to me, take hold of my words with all your heart. Keep my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. Cherish her, she will exalt you. Embrace her, she will honor you. She will give you a garland to grace your head and present you with glorious crown. So this is speaking about, again, the importance of wisdom and keeping it, not forgetting it, and using it using the wisdom you learned in your life. Because if you learn it and you don't use it, and we'll all make errors, right? It's normal. But if you have the wisdom, then if you do not use it, then it's a bigger error than if you didn't have the wisdom and you did an error, right? Then it says, listen, my son, accept what I say, and the years of your life will be many. I instruct you in the way of wisdom and lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to the instruction. Do not let it go. Guard it well, for it is your life. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked or walk in the way of the evildoers. Avoid it and do not travel on it. Turn from it and go on your way, for they cannot rest until they do evil. They are robbed of sleep till they make someone stumble. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun. This is an interesting part. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. So again, the path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining even brighter till the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. They do not get what brings all the misery. They do not get why they always have problems. They do not get why is what they want to do that it does not work, why the relationship does not work, money does not come, because they do not understand what makes them stumble, because they are in deep darkness. And just a quick add in here, deep darkness. Well, there is a passage, I think it's in Luke, in the Gospel of Luke, that Jesus says that the eye is the pathway to your soul. I'm just paraphrasing, but it's that the eye is the pathway to your soul. So whatever the eye sees, well, basically it enters into your body, right? So if you see positive things, if you see good things that are, strong attractors, doing reference to the previous videos, power versus force. If it's good attractors and it's good things that you let into your eye to get into your body, well, you will have light inside of you, in your soul. People will see there is they call it aura. They call it, we feel something that it's positivity, it's good things, it's good thoughts, it's good energy that comes into you. And all of that, actually, it's in the current modern times. What do we see often? It's our phone, our cell phone. And if we do not control what is in it, then the eye gets, a lot of things, random things that we don't even have a control in. But imagine somebody who is watching a lot of bad stuff, negative stuff, news, and even worse stuff. They are feeding their eyes, and from those eyes, the light gets into them, which is a dark light. And then you can feel the bad energy in that person, because whatever they're feeding and whatever their eye gets in, that's what they represent afterwards. And interestingly enough, and it's also mentioned in the Gospel of Luke, is that whenever you have the light, you are not gonna hide the light. I'm talking about the positive light. You don't hide the light under the bed. Whenever you have a light, you want to share it. You want to put it in a room where it's darkness, so that the light can overcome it, and then it's light. Same thing with darkness. With darkness, they don't want the light. They want to close the light. But that's the point. So you gotta control the what goes into your eye. And then, of course, the thoughts and what you let into your ears too. That's another thing. So my son, so he continues, pay attention to what I say, turn your ear to my words, do not let them out of your sight, keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free of perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Okay, again, keep your mouth free of perversity. Using bad words. I mean, hey, me too. Sometimes can happen that you use bad words just by you're used to it sometimes. But trying to control the words that are used, trying to control the discussions, the questions, the feedback, even the environment in it. When you listen people talking about stuff that are disrespectful, they're gossiping, talking bad. Me personally, I'm just gonna leave that group, that environment, just go somewhere else, because I don't need to be part of it. Because if you are there, then you're pretty much supporting it and you're part of it, and then you get. There's a saying that says that you are the average of 5 people. If you stay with those 5 people, then long enough, of course, then you will start doing like them. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. The same thing. So our lips, whatever we say, have a lot of power. So if it's negativity that comes out, it's bad. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or the left. keep your foot from evil. Meaning, if you know the right path, you are going straight. Do not look on the right or the left and, like mentions here, do not turn to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil, because evil will try to put you on another path, distract you, deceive you, bring you to another way of thinking. And you might not even understand or realize what's happening. So, Proverbs 4. Let's go to Proverbs 5. This is interesting. So, warning against adultery. So, adultery meaning cheating, but it can be in a larger sense here. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Turn your ear to my words of insight, that you may maintain discretion and your lips may preserve knowledge. For the lips of the adulterous woman drip honey. For the lips of adulterous woman drip honey. Meaning a lot of sugar coating, a lot of, bringing you to her or to him. And her speech is smoother than oil. It's smooth like oil, it's even smoother than oil. But in the end, she's bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. She gives no thought to the way of life. Her paths wander aimlessly, but she does not know it. I mean, here it's speaking about woman. Some might say, it can speak about a man too. But I find it very interesting. She gives no thought to the way of life. Her paths wander aimlessly, but she does not know it. And this is talking about adultery, an adulterous woman. A woman whose lips are dripping like honey and who is smooth and smoother than olive oil. So with this passage, from what I understand, it's either for men or for women. You gotta be careful with people who are thinking more just about themselves and they want to use you. They want to use you for their benefit, and sometimes they don't even know what they want exactly. They don't know what they want exactly. Just since they are aimless, they don't have a goal in life. Well, if you join them, then either if you have a goal, either they will follow with you, so you will convert them to your goal and you will lead them, and this is in the case of a man, or, they will bring you with them aimlessly, without any purpose in life, just using you, and then once you are not needed anymore, then they will go find somebody else. Or, if you stick around altogether, it will be the downfall, as mentioned here. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say. Keep to a path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you lose your honor to others and your dignity to one who is cruel, lest strangers feast on your wealth and your toil and reach the house of another. At the end of your life, you will groan when your flesh and body are spent. You will say, how I hated discipline, how my heart spurned correction. I will not obey my teachers or turn my ear to my instructors, and I was soon in serious trouble in the assembly of God's people. This is deep. And I will just repeat it again because this part is very deep. So keep to a path from her, from a person like that, far from that person. Do not go near the door of her house. Do not get tempted, because let's be honest, online you can see a lot of attractive people, women that can, play with your mind, and same thing, if your wisdom is not there, if in some ways your faith is not established, you'll be tempted to go through that door, to have that experience, to have that you have only one life, to have that, all the excuses and self-justifying things that people say to themselves to do perverse things, let's say, or things that a person with values and principles won't do normally. So it says, keep to your path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you lose your honor to others and your dignity to one who is cruel, lest strangers feast on your wealth. So that's a stranger. Well, if she becomes close to you, well, she will or he will feast on your wealth, if that's the case. And you will lose your honor and dignity to the others. From the outside, that's how they will see you. And your toil enrich the house of another. So your hard work, your everything will enrich that person. Not the family, but that person. And this is my interpretation. You might be reading this a little bit differently and different way, depending also the translation, but usually the translations are very similar. So just giving you a reminder. And in the end of your life, you will groan. So when your life will go away, you will be at the end, and you did those things. You went into the door to a stranger, or the woman with the honey dripping from her mouth, who managed to get you, let's say. You will groan at the end of your life when your flesh and body are spent. So basically, your body is done, right? Maybe you are 90 years old and that's it about your body. You will say, how I hated discipline. And this is not only about, actually, this is another topic, but hey, let's go into it quickly. This is not only about the woman and the decision, because of course your partner that you will choose, whether woman, man, is crucial for your life path. But here it mentions when you will be at that age, very old, you will tell yourself, how I hated discipline, how my heart spurned correction. So if your body is not working anymore, now I just give an example of 9 years, but some people at 70, 60, their body is off. And he says here, how I hated discipline. Like, why did I hate discipline? Why did I not take care of my body, my temple, where I live, right? When I'm on this earth, this is where I stay. This is where my spirit is. So why did I not take care of it? Now it's the end of my time in this earth. Now the person in this situation is not happy, is with regret. It says, why I did not accept correction. People with proud eyes, why they think they are the wisest person in the room, in the world, whatever, because of accomplishments, wealth, experience. You will ask yourself, why didn't I accept any correction? Why didn't I learn from my teachers or my instructors? And teachers sometimes can be a real teacher, sometimes it can be a mentor, and sometimes it can be somebody at work. Sometimes it can be people that you are listening in podcasts, in books. They are not necessarily there to tell you face to face, but they are telling you indirectly also. And I was soon in serious trouble in assembly of God's people. And it says, drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in the public squares, let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. And loving dew, graceful deer, may her breast satisfy you always, may you ever be intoxicated with her love. Why, my son, be intoxicated with another man's wife? Why embrace the bosom of wayward woman? So here he's talking about, going and doing some things with somebody else's wife. For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all your path. This is very interesting. For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all your paths. The evil deeds of the wicked ensnare them. The cords of their sins hold them fast. For lack of discipline, they will die, led astray by their own great folly. And this is fascinating, right? This has been written, I don't know how many thousand years ago, minimum 3,000 years ago. And it says, for lack of discipline, they will die, led astray by their own great folly. 3,000 more years ago, it talks about discipline. Everybody today, they're talking about discipline, all self-help community, gym, people who are doing, content about that. Discipline. And this is talking about not just discipline of taking care of your body, good habits. That's one thing. But discipline in regards of the wisdom, to keep it, to nourish it, to upgrade it, to learn more, and apply that wisdom in your daily life by your choices. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to choices. And the choices we make are based on the wisdom, the knowledge, the decision making, the critical thinking we have. And that's what shows basically who we become. Like the person I gave the example at the end of the life is the accumulation of all the choices that person did. And in this case, he wasn't happy because he got into that door with the adulterous woman, and then the path and the choice was done, and boom, it brings you a wall under another place. And as we mentioned in one of the proverbs before, when you have a straight goal, you go like this. You don't look left, you don't look right, you go straight. But once you look to right, sometimes it can be a crucial decision, and then your path of life changes. Sometimes it can be for the right things if it's done because your wisdom and knowledge upgraded. But if it's done because your emotional pulses of your body, desires, then it can bring to what I just explained with the old man. So this was Proverbs 5. Let's go to Proverbs 6. So, warnings against folly. So, craziness. My son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, if you have shaken hands in pledge for a stranger, you have been trapped by what you said, ensnared by the words of your mouth. This is important. My son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, if you have shaken hands in pledge for a stranger, you have been trapped by what you said, ensnared by the words of your mouth. So if you give a promise, if you shake somebody's hand, if you say something you will do, you are trapped, ensnared by the words of your mouth. So do this, my son, to free yourself, since you have fallen into your neighbor's hands. Go to the point of exhaustion and give your neighbor no rest. Allow no sleep to your eyes, no slumber to your eyelids. Free yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, like a bird from the snare of the fowler. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provision in summer and gathers its food at harvest. This is wow. I have chills for this portion because again I've heard we all have heard stories about ants. Well, and there's a quote it says from Jim Rohn. It says, "Everybody should study ants, especially lazy people." And this is about that. It says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise." The ant, the small little thing that works, on the earth, it has no commander, no overseer or ruler. There is no boss. There is no, the father or the mother has a say about, hey, go do this, go do that. There is no employer. There is no government with the ants. It says it has no commander, no overseer, yet it stores its provision in summer and gather its food at harvest. So do you understand? Like the ant himself, he knows that this is a good time, everything is going well, but I know that in the future there is coming hard times, so I'm going to prepare for it during the summer, and then gather harvest during winter, right? It says it stores provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Now, the butterfly, if you know the story of the butterfly and the ant, but the butterfly has fun and does not gather any food provisions in the summer for the winter. So the butterfly is just having fun, going to parties, flying around, visiting a lot of things. And then what happens? And then winter comes. And the ant did what he was supposed to do. And then the ant can eat, can sleep. He's in a warm place because he worked for it. He thought about it. He had that wisdom given by God, the creator of the universe and the heavens, to be able to prepare for that. And we as humans, we have also that wisdom on another level, 1,000 times more. But it says here, so the ant did his job. The butterfly, who just, this is another story, he just partied and have fun. Well, the butterfly didn't have anything to eat or to stay, where to stay, because it's cold. Then in that story, she went to see the ant and to get help. But the ant said, hey, you didn't work for it. Too bad. This is the consequences. So it brings me to the idea that sometimes when everything goes well, we just assume that it will continue to go well, and we do not prepare for what is coming. And now I'm talking about whether it's for a winter or for the next coming years, the next 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Sometimes we can be naive to think that things that happen with other people won't happen with us. But you just gotta check the reality and see that a lot of things that other people go through, we as people, we will go through also. It's maybe not everything, but a lot of things will go through the same things. And if we do not prepare in advance for those things, you will be like that butterfly in the winter who has no place to go and will be frozen, will be faced to that problem without solution, or the solution that might be the best one because it was not prepared in advance. This is very deep. I didn't even remember this one, but yeah, it's very deep. And it says, how long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. Okay, so here it's again, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. So if you spend your time just sleeping, relaxing, having good time, not being on the guard and alert and faced with the specific aims in life to achieve, and this includes, a lot of things financially, in your health, in your family, spiritually, based on your faith. It says poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. Poverty and scarcity. If you don't do the work, if you are just enjoying life for the moment, you do not prepare for the winter, guess what will happen? Poverty and scarcity will come. Poverty because, like the butterfly, if she's poor, she cannot be somewhere where it's warm during the winter and have food to eat and stay there until the winter is over, because she's in a poverty, and that brings scarcity. The butterfly is scared to find or to go somewhere else or to know what's going to happen next day. And then there, you are holding into one leaf, but if that leaf goes, then everything goes away. Again, very deep. A troublemaker and a villain, who goes about with a corrupt mouth, who winks maliciously with his eye, signals with his feet, and motions with his fingers, who plots evil with deceit in his heart. He always stirs up conflict. Therefore, disaster will overtake him in an instant. He will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. there are 6 things, and I love this part. It says, there are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him. Let's go through them. First, haughty eyes. Okay, those are the eyes that are very proud. People who are like, I'm better than you, I don't know. Haughty eyes. A lying tongue. People who are lying. Straight up. Hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that devises wicked schemes. So somebody that is planning bad things. Feet that are quick to rush into evil. So somebody who is trying not to do any, bad things, to sin and all that. And then somebody invites you to do something, boom, you are there. You try not to drink and somebody has, hey, you want to drink? Boom, you go there. You don't want to, I don't know, meet with a lot of girls or men, and then somebody attractive comes out, boom, you are going. And the next one, it's a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. So now it can be this, it can be in the church, it can be in your family, it can be with colleagues. But again, so this is the 7 are detestable to him. This is what the 6 things that the Lord hates. Again, another warning against adultery. My son, keep your father's command and do not forsake your mother's teachings. Bind them always on your heart. Fasten them around your neck. When you walk, they will guide you. When you sleep, they will watch over you. When you awake, they will speak to you. For this command is a lamp. This teaching is a light. And correction and instruction are the way of life, keeping you from your neighbor's wife, from the smooth talk of a wayward woman. Do not lust in your heart after her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyes. For a prostitute can be had for a loaf of bread, but another man's wife preys on your very life. Whew, this is something. So basically it's saying, you can have a woman to spend time with for some loaf of bread, so some money, but another man's wife preys on your very life. You will say, it's common sense, right? Because if you do some things with somebody else, family members and all that, it can be very dangerous because you cannot know how that person will react and what they can do and who they are and all that. So this is interesting. And it says, can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? Can a man walk on hot coals without his feet being scorched? So is he who sleeps with another man's wife. No one who touches her will go unpunished. People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his hunger when he is starving. In this current society, I would understand what he means here. But of course, you will be punished if you steal. Now, if you are stealing because you are starving, I assume that the person from whom you are stealing may have compassion and understanding, not to, call the police on you, but explain that, hey, or maybe give you a job, who knows. But yet, if he is caught, he must pay sevenfold, though it cost him all the wealth of his house. But a man who commits adultery has no sense. Whoever does so destroys himself. Blows a disgrace are his lot, and his shame will never be wiped away. Oof. That's deep. So, man or woman who commits adultery has no sense. Whoever does so destroys himself. And what it says here, so it destroys himself because by lying or cheating, quote unquote, using a modern term, on somebody else, you are disrespecting yourself. You are lying to yourself because the person that is supposed to be the love of your life, and they are together, you are turning your back against them, you are lying to them, you are cheating, right? And they are becoming your enemy, and basically to spit on their face. So by doing that, you are spitting on your face, because in some ways you have said that you are to the other person that you love them. So it's basically going against yourself, against your morality, integrity, and inside of yourself, it says here, you will get the blows and the disgrace, and you will have shame, which will never be wiped away. For sure, you can forgive yourself, but that's something that you did, and there is shame in it. Now, is it good to keep the shame forever? No, for sure. But here it mentions, and his shame will never be wiped away. For jealousy arouses a husband's fury, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. So if a man is with another man's wife, well, it says here, for jealousy arouses husband's fury, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. He will not accept any compensation. He will refuse a bribe, however great it is. So this is Proverbs 6. Let's go to 7:1. So this is actually more specific against adulterous woman. Okay, this is specific. The other ones were just adultery. And then it goes again. My son, keep my words and store up my commands within you. Keep my commands and you will live. Guard my teachings as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and to insight, you are my relative. They will keep you from the adulterous woman, from the wayward woman with her seductive words. At the window of my house, I looked down through the lattice. I saw among the simple, and noticed among the young men, a youth who had no sense. Interesting. He was going down the street near her corner, walking along in the direction of her house. At twilight, as the day was fading, as the dark of night set in, then out came a woman to meet him, dressed like a prostitute with crafty intent. She is unruly and defiant. Her feet never stay at home. Now in the street, now in the squares, at every corner she lurks. She took hold of him and kissed him, and with a brazen face she said, Today I fulfilled my vows, and I have food from my fellowship offering at home, so I came out to meet you. I looked for you and have found you. I have covered my bed with colored lines from Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with my myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let's drink deeply of love till morning. Let's enjoy ourselves with love. My husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took his purse filled with money and will not be home till full moon. With persuasive words she led him astray. She seduced him with her smooth talk. All at once he followed her, like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose, till an arrow pierced his liver, like a bird darting into a snare, little knowing it will cost him his life. This is an example of what we just mentioned before. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Pay attention to what I say. Do not let your heart turn to her ways or stray into her paths. Many are the victims she has brought down. Her slain are a mighty throng. Her house is a highway to the grave, leading down to the chambers of death. Wow. A lot of passages about adultery, cheating, smooth talking, persuasiveness, which is to distract you and bring you down. Now, it's not only to talk about relationships, let's say, but because that's a very important decision that we as humans, it can change our pathway of life. Somebody was doing the right things, then somebody comes into their life, boom. They don't want to work anymore. They want to spend all their time there with her, doing nothing, giving all their money or their wealth, not having children, or even having children, even worse, being with that person in the family. So it's put the emphasis on that portion, because that's a distraction for potentially the right woman waiting for you, the right man waiting for you to meet. Wisdom's call. Does not wisdom call out? Does not understanding raise her voice? At the highest point along the way, where the paths meet, she takes her stand. Beside the gate leading into the city, at the entrance she cries aloud. So, to you, O people, I call out, I raise my voice to all mankind. You are simple. You who are simple, gain prudence. You who are foolish, set your hearts on it. Listen, for I have trustworthy things to say. I open my lips to speak what is right. My mouth speaks what is true, for my lips detest wickedness. All the words of my mouth are just. None of them is crooked or perverse. To the discerning, all of them are right. They are upright. To those who have found knowledge, choose my instruction instead of silver, knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is more precious than rubies, and nothing you desire can compare with her. I, wisdom, dwell together with prudence. I possess knowledge and discretion. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. It's deep. I hate pride and arrogance, evil behavior and perverse speech. Counsel and sound judgment are mine. I have insight, I have power. By me kings reign, and rulers issue decrees that are just. By me princes govern, and nobles are all who rule on earth. I love those who love me. And this is wisdom speaking. I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. With me are riches and honor, enduring wealth and prosperity. My fruit is better than fine gold. Then I yield surpasses choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness, along the paths of justice, bestowing a rich inheritance on those who love me, making their treasuries full. The Lord brought me forth as the first of his works, before his deeds of old. I was formed long ages ago, and this is wisdom speaking. At the very beginning, when the world came to be, when there were no watery depths, I was given birth. When there were no springs overflowing with water, before the mountains were settled in place, before the hills I was given birth, before he made the world, or its fields, or any of the dust of the earth. I was there when he set heavens in place, when he marked out the horizon on the face of the deep, when he established the clouds above and fixed securely the fountains of the deep, when he gave the sea its boundary, so the waters would not overstep his command, and when he marked out the foundation of the earth. Then I was constantly at his side. I was filled with delight day after day, rejoicing always in his presence, rejoicing in his whole world, and delighting in mankind. Now then, my children, listen to me. Blessed are those who keep my ways, listen to my instructions, and be wise. Do not disregard it. Blessed are those who listen to me, watching daily at my doors, waiting at my doorway. Watching daily at my doors, waiting at my doorway. For those who find me find life and receive favor from the Lord. But those who fail to find me harm themselves. All who hate me love death. So all people who hate knowledge, wisdom, they love death. Those who fail to find knowledge will harm themselves. Those who will favor wisdom and find it will receive favor from the Lord. They will be blessed. Blessed are those who listen to wisdom. So this is Proverbs 8. So for now, we'll stop here for the Proverbs 8. As you can see, there is a lot of deep knowledge here that is ancient. And now today, a lot of people are just, recycling those deep knowledges, the deep wisdom, the wisdom of God. And we can see there is a lot of emphasis on the relationship, preparing what the wise people, and there are a lot of examples and like mini stories in this what we just read. So let me know in the comment section what is your preferred proverbs, because there are many, or maybe preferred book from the Bible. Which part do you like more? Which verse do you like more? And let me know what you learn from this session in the comments. And so I will do other parts for the remaining of the Proverbs, because it's very interesting. And a lot of things, even if you read it one time, it's not enough. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Please share, subscribe, like, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.